Hello and welcome to another episode. Today we will talk about the Daniel Robinson case. Robinson is described by investigators and family as a 5 feet 8 inches African-American man who weighed 165 pounds at the time of his disappearance. He has black hair and brown eyes, and is missing part of his right forearm, including his hand. He has been described by friends and family as a gentle, sweet man. He is a 24-year-old geologist who is working in Arizona doing geology work as well as delivering for Instacart part-time. On Tuesday, July 19, 2021, Daniel's vehicle was found by a rancher a little over 2.5 miles from the worksite in a remote part of the desert. On that day, the rancher reported the vehicle to Buckeye Police Department, who later did a search by ground and drone. The vehicle was recovered. Daniel was not found. When Robinson arrived at work at 9 a.m. on June 23, he met with Kenneth, a coworker, who told Buckeye Police he was acting strange. According to the police report, Robinson was saying things that did not make sense, like asking Kenneth if he wanted to go home to Phoenix to rest. After about 15 minutes of this, he waved goodbye and abruptly left the worksite where the pair was located. Kenneth contacted Steve, the project manager, who said no one from the company had heard from or seen Robinson throughout the day. Around 3 p.m., Kenneth was made aware that Robinson had not been located and was not responding to texts and calls from work and family. At that point, Ken started to look for Robinson in the desert. Ken followed tire tracks he said were Robinson's near the worksite where Robinson was last seen. Heading west, he tried to locate Robinson as he drove further into an extremely large desert area. Police then searched that area for hours with no success. Buckeye Police Department instructed his dad to check his son's social media pages on June 24. His dad confirmed to police that all of the photos on his son's Instagram had been deleted since his disappearance. According to the police report, multiple of Robinson's friends and family members, and a waitress at a Waffle House he visited 2 days before he disappeared, reported odd behavior leading up to his disappearance. Most commonly, he was described as being off. On the same day, he had texted his sister that he had an emergency but neglected to answer any of her calls in response, according to the police report. Robinson's sister also said one time he went over to her apartment and sat in silence for 30 minutes before getting up and leaving. His dad told police that in the weeks leading up to his disappearance, Robinson had told him that he met a woman and was in love with her. His dad found this strange. A coworker told police that Robinson had mentioned something about a girl, specifically about wanting a woman he liked and couldn't have, but overall wasn't making sense when talking about her. Robinson was her Instacart delivery person, and she invited him into her home when he arrived with her delivery because he seemed friendly, she told police. After exchanging phone numbers, Robinson showed up at her home unannounced a few times. He then told her he loved her, according to the police report. Supposedly just hours before he disappeared, he has sent her a text saying the world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can or we can, whatever, to name it, he wrote to the woman identified only as Caitlin. I'll either see you again or never see you again. His father has been the main person keeping the case going, putting countless time and money into finding his son. Setting the bar really compared to other cases I have looked into. He has left no stone unturned and even has led several group searches in the area to find his son. In late July 2021, a human skull was found in the area south of where Robinson's vehicle was recovered. Testing later indicated that the skull was not that of Robinson, and no additional human remains were recovered at that time. This case looks simple when you first look at it, but it's anything but simple. How can a man drive off further into the desert and just disappear for a month before the car is found, even with everyone looking for him? Why were his clothes and phone, etc. there? Theory 1. Having very little relationship experience, Daniel had a quick fling with the woman previously mentioned after delivering her Instacart. Maybe they had a couple amazing dates together and he really fell for her. She got really mad when he stopped over to pick up a tent at her house, but it seems the relationship was more complex than she let on, in my opinion. There are rumors that the girl refused to hand over all records of their communications as well. Why? Maybe this quick fling led to heartbreak and he did not know how to process it. He drives off into the desert and flips his Jeep. He walks out and into the deep desert and dies to the elements, and eventually we find his body. The Buckeye area is very big and empty though, and you would think someone would stumble on him somehow. This still doesn't explain how his Jeep went undiscovered for nearly a month, but maybe this just proves this theory, showing how vast and big this area is, more of a needle in a haystack situation. Theory 2. After having a mental breakdown for some reason, he started acting strange in the final days he was seen. Maybe he drove off and left all of his stuff in his car, as well as his keys, and just walked to the highway not really knowing what was going on, and someone gave him a ride to Phoenix, where he is homeless with some form of amnesia or mental illness. If he didn't crash the car himself, maybe his car is found in the desert by some teens, and they take it joyriding till they flip it. Though this is super unlikely, there aren't really a lot of other things that could have happened to him. He wouldn't start a new life without staying in contact with his father, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.